Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MCU Crew. It's Monday, January 24th. Bronze, what do you do when you wake up on Monday and you're unbelievably tired after 9 hours of rest? How do you handle the week, Bronze? I need to know.
I have to say that I'm in exactly the same boat, and what
Oh,
you do is you get yourself a bubble tea.
fuck. I've never had bubble tea before, so
All
this
right.
is
First off,
What?
Bronze. I don't think you got 9 hours of sleep last night.
Oh, a
No,
challenge.
I got like 5.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted
See,
to, I just wanted to clarify
it
that you didn't get 9 hours of sleep and are still tired. You got not enough sleep and are still tired.
I would much rather operate on 5 hours of sleep and be tired than 9 hours of sleep and be tired, because it just feels like, well, what the fuck was my body doing? Like, did it fail last night? Did it just like fail its recuperating process?
Bro, it sounds like you need to invest in a good mattress and like nice pillows, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it sounds like you are not having a quality sleep. Is your mattress big enough? Is it soft enough? Is it
Aaron
firm
hogs
enough?
a lot of the bed, and she'll probably kill me for
See,
saying this, but yeah, she,
well, there you go. That checks out. I believe that.
Aaron's the type of, I like to call her Jesus Christ Superstar, when she sleeps.
Oh, she's
'Cause
like,
she does a lot of this, a lot of,
right. She T-poses.
yeah, she dies for our sins at night.
She
She's a back.
T-poses
She's
to
a back
assert
sleeper.
dominance.
Yeah. Yeah. Not really. She kind of sleeps on her side most of the time. Uh,
She's a side sleeper. Gotcha.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I did not, I'm feeling it, as they say this morning. It might have been the whiplash for watching X2, right before I fell asleep last night. Could have been that. Going all
Can't
the way
believe
back
y'all
to the
wait.
90s.
Can't believe y'all waited
I had a busy week.
last minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I just say,
I had to watch it twice. I had to help
oh,
our dear friend stripping through league placements is really what happened. Anyways, what were we going to say, Bronze?
okay, what it's crazy to me that in the 2000s dressing like that was normal because their street clothes are more insane than their costume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Am I
Yes.
wrong? Like that scene in the museum with Jean Grey wearing like
It's like
the
Spart the Mutant.
unbuttoned, right? She's got like this waist chain on and like 3 necklaces and her hair is flipped out. And I was like, she looks like Black Widow. Legit. She
she's
looks like Black fucking Widow. And that's just that was normal clothing.
That's
I can't believe what's this?
Jameson. I don't know what her last name is. I struggled a lot to remember who the actors were in that film, apart from Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry.
what? You're insane.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to
You're
that.
insane.
We'll get to X2. We'll talk about it for sure. Not the biggest week for Marvel news. There is just a small little blips though. Doctor Strange 2 merch may potentially spoil the fuck out of that movie, as there's already toys from the movie showing Doctor Strange in his Defender costume, which is a big deal because it's from another universe. It's not the Doctor Strange that we know. It's from some multiverse where he's in the Defenders. Ooh. And then we can also see there's rumors that there's going to be other Avengers that are in, different superhero team up groups, etc. I don't know if those. Let me see if there's an image of the Doctor Strange. There's not. So it looks like they're keeping all that stuff pretty close to their chest for the Doctor Strange movie. But yeah, do you guys think as we get closer to the multiverse of madness and beyond that we're going to start seeing different portrayals from different actors and different superhero roles? Is that how Marvel gets out of like signing on someone for a 10-year movie stint? They're just like, oh no, you can play this movie because it's a one-off.
My cat just grabbed the arrow out of my $350 Sylvanas statue, and I'm
Oh
just gonna grab it from him before he breaks it in half.
yeah, do that. Yeah, you gotta
God, that cat is the smartest cat
elevate
ever.
that.
That cat was like, "I'm saving you.
Yeah.
I'm saving you, Bronze.
My
I'm
Sylvanas is
saving you."
on the highest thing possible right here. So you
Oh,
gotta.
I didn't
I
buy
don't know
Sylvanas because
how
I don't own trash.
he just managed to pull that right out of her bow and was carrying it around in his mouth. And I was
Pretty
like,
easy to get undone.
Just to go, but to go for that, to go for it is what.
Save you.
Yeah.
The cat was trying to dismantle that Sylvana statue before you had to watch another character be ruined.
Yikes.
I know. He's like, let me deface the statue for you. Like, please don't.
Yikes. Anyways, Jesse, do you think we start to see actors sign on for a one movie role in the MCU, or are they gonna?
What do you mean?
Like with this
I don't know what you
multiverse
mean
thing?
though.
Like
I don't know what
instead
that
of
means.
Iron Man or fucking Spider-Man being locked in as like this is the Spider-Man, we start seeing like one-off movies where they're in the they're a version
It's a different actor?
Yeah, a variant. There we go. That's the terminology. Do we see any movies where it's a variant of a superhero?
Would it be fun? Yes. Is it necessary? No. Will it confuse children? Very much.
Very much. True. Bronze, any thoughts on it? I think I have a photo of this, by the way.
On if they include variants in the MCU?
No. Do we get a full movie of a variant within the MCU of a popular superhero? Do we see like this is a pipe dream, but does Tom Cruise play Iron Man in Iron Man 5? Right? Like, does that ever happen?
No. Stop that. Does Tom Cruise show up as like a cameo and it's like, I am Iron Man of Earth 42? Maybe.
Okay.
Does he have his own movie? Hard no. Hard pass.
Okay.
I think I'm fundamentally misunderstanding the question, because if I think we're going to include other versions or variants to that, I say yes. I think, because I feel like they set that precedent with Spider-Man. Do I think we're going to have two simultaneous Iron Man movies, one taking place in one multiverse and the other taking place in the other? No.
Okay.
I don't think that will happen, but I do think other multiverses characters will come over into this multiverse.
Into 616 or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to release two films. I think that would be cool. I don't see why we can't have a Garfield Spider-Man alongside Tom Holland. But I agree with Jesse that I think people will just get confused. And they'll be like, wait, who's Spider-Man now? You know?
Yeah.
Whereas if they put them in the same movie, then I think people can kind of understand it more.
It's true. Here's that. If you don't want to see a Defender Doctor Strange, then turn away from the screen. This is what he looks like. This is the official toy listed on Target.com of the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Defender Strange. Kind of like the costume. I think it looks all right. Not too bad. Looks like Doctor Strange still.
So is that the Strange from the trailer?
Which part? The tentacle Strange?
No, the Strange at the end is like, hey, I might be evil guy.
That's Tentacle Strange, I thought.
We're calling him Tentacle Strange now?
That's what if Strange. That's what if Strange.
I don't like calling him Tentacle Strange.
Well,
we never do that again.
Call it what if Strange. Because he's got the very long goatee at the end of that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah. Can we call him Dr. Hentai? As my chat.
No, we cannot call him Dr. Hentai.
Dr. Hentai sounds real. Let's call him that. That's the official name of what if Doctor Strange is Dr. Hentai moving forward. We've decreed it as such.
Also, from a toy standpoint, as a kid,
kind of
or
sucks.
having been one, this toy kind of sucks.
It kind of sucks.
Like not a great toy.
Yeah, it's kind of a dog shit toy.
Like, yeah.
You know what they're charging for that toy, Jesse Cox?
Too much is probably the answer.
$31.49.
Garbage. I would never buy that. That's trash. That's a trash toy.
What are you supposed to do with it?
I don't know. He's got different hands you can put on him.
Here's
cool.
I have the, what is it? The Sideshow Collectibles Doctor Strange with interchangeable hands.
Yeah.
I feel like when you do the interchangeable hands, that's for people that are going to pose their figures and put them somewhere and never touch them again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like for kids, you need something that shoots firebolts when you squeeze his legs together like a Ninja Turtle, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
now,
really,
what are you supposed to do with the portal? That's not fun to play with.
Really, the
No,
only
it's not.
thing that you could do is put a warning hazard, which they did on the box for choking, and that's about it. That's why those hands are
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
No,
makes it fun.
a tiny child is gonna lose those hands in like the first 30 minutes of owning that toy.
Sure. Yeah, because it's a terribly designed children's product.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's designed for like grown adults who
Yeah.
have figures in the
It's
background.
grown ups. Yeah.
Yeah, but like as a grown up, I think it's a boring figure. As a grown up, I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's it's boring.
Yeah, they call it the Marvel's Legends series is the thing of that's the run of that toys. Run of those toys. There's also a Cyclops with long hair and a Xiling and a Rogue and a Magneto. Oh my God, what is this Magneto? What the fuck? Look at this Magneto. This guy looks wild as hell. He's got super long hair. Look at this guy. He's wilding out. How do I zoom in? Damn it. There it is. It's Thornado.
Yo, this is oh my God, this is what is that run? Yo, I love this.
What?
Again, I love it. I love the long hair with the helmet. Love it. Although, still a crappy toy. Still like not a great toy. I love it.
Just to pose. What does this do? Why is this? Is that so he can bend? Is that the
Probably.
bending mechanism? Yeah.
It's one of those things where like 800 points of articulation.
Yeah.
That's why we're charging you $900. Like, all right.
Well, this
I think
one's
it's neat.
only
I love-
$17.99, so it's not that bad.
Oh, see, yeah, it's because this one is like,
Yeah.
you know, long. Like no one's gonna like that except for me because I'm like long hair Magneto, awesome.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm just reeling from the fact that that was your reaction.
what?
What?
With who's?
Long hair Magneto. Like I thought you were doing a bit. Was that? But now I'm realizing that was genuine. I have more respect for
Genuine.
you, Jessica.
I like long hair Magneto. What I do?
Oh, that he
I think
likes.
he looks.
I thought because my
Yeah,
reaction
it's like
was
with the
long hair
helmet
Magneto.
on. He's got like
I
a
thought
Viking
he was
thing going
doing a
on.
bit. When he said
No.
long hair Magneto, dope. I was like, is this a Jesse Cox bit?
No, it was genuine.
Jesse Cox is always sincere. He's never sarcastic at
It
all.
was a genuine response.
Yeah, don't you know Jesse Bronze? Like I thought you guys were, like this. I
Married
thought it
and
was,
divorced like 30 times.
yeah,
That's
What's
well,
going
the
on?
divorces are making a lot more sense now, huh?
yeah. I guess I
They're all
suppose so.
starting. It's all starting to come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Yeah. She-Hulk had a little bit of news. As Abomination is now 100% in that show. Old Tim Roth will be reprising his role. If you had any doubt, he'll be showing up in the old She-Hulk. He did a couple interviews with, who was it with? I don't know the actual source. Looks like it was just comicbook.com. That'll be coming out later this year on Disney Plus. Glad to see Tim Roth back. We missed a major Easter egg, apparently, in the Moon Knight trailer last week. Did you guys see this thing that made the rounds on social media? Giant Easter egg.
How giant? Is this a goof?
No, it depends if you're a fan of the character or not. Not of Moon Knight. In the scene where he's when he wakes up in the car, in the van, with a gun in his hand, and there's boxes in the background. On the boxes, it says Von capital D.
Von Dutch, yeah.
You don't think it's Von Doom?
No, I think it's Von Dutch. I think you all got Marvel played again.
Could be.
They put that there. I'm telling you.
It's pretty, that's pretty like, they definitely know what the
Nope.
fuck they're doing with
No. That's a box. That's a box of trucker hats and silver purses. That is not. That is not.
I don't even, is Von Dutch an actual brand? I don't even,
Von
Yes.
is very much an actual brand.
Yeah,
never.
and it's
No, but
how
that's
would
not
you
their
even
logo.
describe
Then.
it?
That's not their logo. Their logo
It
is
doesn't
this.
matter.
Oh my God,
Look,
Paris
that's-
Hilton, fucking what the hell? Paris
Yeah,
Hilton's
Von
all
Dutch
over
is
Google
like
Image.
boy, I don't even know how to describe it. It's definitely not.
This is the logo for Von Dutch.
It is.
Are they still around?
That's not the
it's
logo
like,
for
no.
Von Dutch. That potentially
Von Dutch.
says Von
Why
Doom.
would Von Doom? Why would Victor Von Doom brand boxes?
I don't know. That's the thing.
That
Like,
is so dumb.
I don't know. Does he?
Hold up.
Go ahead,
Jesse.
Mons.
There is a show
You're
on
shrinking
Hulu
all over
called.
the place.
I have no idea why that's happening. I was trying to figure it out.
It's
on my
internet
end, but-
issues. Here, I'll fix it. Your camera's just gonna go a little crazy for a little while. See?
Okay. Hi. Jesse. While looking up Von Dutch, because that was such a deep cut that I had to like go and
Thank
take
you.
a look at it.
Mhm.
There is a show on Hulu called
See if that
The
works.
Curse of Von Dutch, a brand to die for, with a blood-splattered Von Dutch hat. And I feel like we should watch it?
Holy
Yikes.
shit!
What is it about? Do people die?
It's a Paris. I saw
Von
Paris
Dutch?
Hilton when you Google. So I don't know.
I don't know, but that sounds amazing.
There's a Von Dutch
mostly when you look up Von Dutch, you just find trucker hats
Yeah.
that are like $100 trucker hats, and it's like cool, like great. It is a fashion brand, that's for sure. But that's all I'm going to say about it. Because they
Okay.
may sponsor me one day. I mean, you may see me with the Von Dutch hat, and I'll be like, I love it. It makes
would
me
be
feel
like-
high class.
We must have gone back in time because Von Dutch has money to sponsor someone.
Oh, he's
Weird.
also
What-
okay. So I kept. If you keep reading, there's some Twitter responses to it. Apparently, he's in a cupcake truck. So there's, unless Von Doom is a cupcake,
what I'm saying.
manufacturer.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
that's kind of
this
fucked.
isn't real.
Like that's
This
definitely
isn't real.
like someone included that with like, oh, they're gonna think it's Victor Von Doom.
Yeah. Yes.
That's crazy.
They literally put in Quicksilver and then said he wasn't Quicksilver. JP, the rules are gone. There's
that's
no.
different.
I don't trust them.
That's different.
No, it's not different.
That's
it's
totally
not different.
different.
I don't trust Marvel at all. Have you seen the Marvel trailers? They include scenes that don't exist.
Well, that's true.
It's all lies. I don't trust them.
It's very different.
Different at all.
We had some secret invasion photos that were leaked. Kobe
so secret.
Smulders is apparently all bloodied up in a makeup situation in the film, so she's going to get into some crazy action. This is where we're at with the news. Samuel L. Jackson and Emilia
bloodied up.
Clarke were filming as well. Samuel L. Jackson's got a full ass beard and a beard on his face.
Clark in the show?
She is, yeah. She was confirmed.
No, who is she? Who is she? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know if that's been stated. Yeah, it's still unclear who she's playing in the show. There's been a lot of speculation around who she could play, but she's a lot of people are saying that she's playing Sword's Abigail Brand, who I know nothing about. Let's see. Abigail Brand is... Oh, she's just kind of like a weapons specialist type person. It says she's a human mutant / alien hybrid, though, according to her Marvel database.
They always are.
They always are, I guess.
They always are.
And she's got tactile pyrokinesis and enhanced durability.
My favorite thing in the world is every time you go on there, I know
And
that you're just making your,
multilingualism.
you're making your way to the bottom of that webpage where
Yeah.
it lists like it has like the like
Oh, powers and
she
abilities.
has a 7 score. It's so funny.
Yeah,
to me.
the
'Cause I know
power
exactly. I can visualize
She's
that
got a
webpage.
3 in intelligence, a 2 in strength and speed and energy projection, a 4
Yeah,
in durability,
course.
and her fighting skills are a 6.
She cracks me up every time because I'll go on there looking for information and then I'll be like, I'm not going to read any of this. I'm just going to scroll down to where I see their power level.
Yeah.
I'm like, only a 6 power level. What a pathetic superhero.
Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. They're definitely all friendly though. So it would make sense that she would be an Abigail Brand. But if she's a mutant, then that's obviously a much bigger deal. Here, I'll show you guys this photo of Nick Fury, just so we could see it. Oh, I didn't realize we had still had this photo up. Here's old Nick. Looking
I like this
old
Nick
and
Fury.
haggard.
I like this Nick Fury
Seen
just
some
like
shit.
I like long-haired Magneto.
Yeah?
I love him.
I think he looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like he's... I mean, when was the last time we saw, in film, when was the last time we saw Nick Fury? Was that...
On the moon?
The moon?
Or in space? Not the moon, in space.
Oh, it's when he woke up
What?
on the ship, right?
Yeah, when he like gets up and you think he's in like Tahiti or whatever, and then he walks out and there's a green screen and he's like, I'm on a ship in space.
Yeah. And that was at the end of Far From Home, because he was like not like there was was it a Skrull that was help? I'm misremembering now. Maria Hill was a Skrull in Far From Home, right?
Yes.
Was Nick Fury a Skrull?
Yes. All of them were Skrulls.
Everyone on the
ground.
planet was a Skrull that was talking to Spider-Man?
And yes. And at the end of WandaVision, she was a Skrull too.
Okay.
When she was like, meet me in the theater. And she's like, Nick Fury's looking for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is there? This one, I hadn't heard anything about this, but apparently this is a thing. Did you guys know that Sony's making a Madam Webb movie? And that Sandra Bullock is apparently being eyed for the role?
Interesting.
They're getting ready to start filming here sometime this year, according to this post. I hadn't heard anything about this. They interviewed Sony executive Sanford Panich, who said there are plans for Tom Holland's Spider-Man to appear in the franchises outside of the MCU. The direct quote is, "There's actually a plan," he explained last year. "I think now maybe it's getting a little more clear for people who are headed, people where we're headed, and I think that when No Way Home comes out, even more will be revealed. The great thing is that we have this very excellent relationship with Kevin. There's an incredible sandbox there to play with. We want those MCU movies to be absolutely huge because that would be great for us and our Marvel characters, and I think that's the same thing on their side, but we have a great relationship. There's lots of opportunities, I think, that are going to happen." I don't know about a Madam Webb standalone movie, though. Seems kind of odd. Like, how is that not a... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about Madam Webb. I'm also trying to like dig into the details on this, and
I can give you the link if you want to read
no,
the
I
post.
mean, like, well, so Madam,
pretty
it's
loose.
saying here, it's saying here that it was first announced in 2019 with the script being assigned to the guy who wrote Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, and Gods of Egypt, which is like
huge movies, great giant movies there.
Yep. And then the director apparently is a director who's done a bunch of TV stuff. But I don't see any. I'm trying to see like movies. Apparently they did an unaired Game of Thrones prequel pilot. An episode of Succession, so 2 of the Defenders episodes, but I don't see anything like crazy. EastEnders, Veronica, Life on Mars, an episode of House, an episode of Toast. Oh, they were in Toast. Lovely. Just like, I don't know, but nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like nothing that says to me like, all right. So it seems like they've got writers who've written movies that didn't end up being great movies, and a director that kind of like I don't really see anything for on the big screen. A lot of small screen stuff, which is great, but yeah. I have no idea. It's
a little weird.
Yeah.
Left field.
I feel like they're trying to jump on the superhero trend, but I'm just curious to see how some of these more niche characters do, because we just don't have a lot of data to suggest that like they I don't know how to describe it. So like, okay, I'll use an example. I thought Shazam was a pretty popular character, but then when that movie got announced, there were so many people that just like didn't know like who Shazam was.
Right.
And I was very shocked with the performance of the second film because I actually thought it was pretty good. Like it was really confusing to me, like why those movies didn't do as well as I felt like they should have done. And I feel like a big part of it was like just from chatting with people that they just didn't know who the fuck that character was.
Yeah. Well, the second, are you, oh, wait, did you say
Wait,
the second
Shazam?
Shazam
Oh,
doesn't
sorry,
have
no,
a
no, no.
second
I
film.
meant no. I was thinking of my brain is kind of misfiring because I'm tired. Because they even when they announced The Rock playing
Black Adam.
Black
Black
Adam,
Adam?
Yeah.
yeah, like it's like people's response because that's kind of the second movie, isn't it?
Well, no, there's a second Shazam movie already announced. I don't know if it
Yeah.
has a trailer out, but like all the kids are grown up. Well, all of the kids have like a costume alongside of it. And the Black Adam
Okay.
movie is its own movie
Okay.
that I think is
I was
done
confused then.
filming, actually. They're in like
I'm
post.
sorry. But, like, I really liked that movie,
Yeah.
and I was at WonderCon, like, oh my gosh, before the pandemic, and they had this, like, huge marketing push for it at WonderCon too, and I was just really confused on, like, why so many people did not watch that movie or just didn't know what it was. So I'm curious to see how, like, Morbius does, because like, Venom, people know what Venom is. I People don't know what the hell Morbius is.
No, not at all. And I
So,
think they're
I'm
probably
even more
banking on
curious
like
about, like,
the actor
Madam
of
Webb.
Morbius. Yeah, and Morbius is even more fringe. You're right. 100%.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'm, like, curious, like, how Morbius is gonna do. I'm curious how Madam Webb is gonna do. Like, some of these are deep cut characters even for comic fans, you
Yeah.
know?
I just discovered
So
that Shazam 2 coming in 2023 features Helen Mirren
Yeah.
as a main character now.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that I love Helen Mirren.
Okay.
And, the movie's going to be smoking hot fire. Thank you.
Okay. Jesse's
wait,
official
how
pick.
did you guys feel about Shazam?
That
Loved
was
it.
great.
I thought
I thought it was fun.
it was by far the best DC movie they've come up with
I would agree.
to that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
People kept saying it was Wonder Woman. I was like, am I smoking crack? It's Shazam.
Shazam's better.
Shazam was great.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got into fights on the internet over this where it's like oh one DC's only ever put out one good movie. It was Wonder Woman. I was like Shazam. Hello.
No, Shazam's
I-
good.
Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman's great, but I would still rank Shazam ahead of it. I would say it would be like Shazam,
Me too.
Wonder Woman, 1, 2.
I think it's
Yeah.
Shazam. Now this is a hot take. Man of Steel and then Wonder Woman. I like Man of Steel. Everything prior to if the end of Man of Steel didn't happen, that'd be a great movie.
Wait, Suicide Squad though.
Which the new one? Oh yeah, I guess the
That
new one.
counts,
That's probably
right?
top 3 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
thought
that
that was pretty
counts.
fun.
I would put Shazam, Suicide Squad.
Oh, I think Wonder Woman's better than the Suicide Squad, hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
The new one?
The first Wonder Woman, it's way better. Like the Suicide Squad is fun, but it's like, I wouldn't say it's better than Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I would disagree on that, but I'd still put it up there as one of the better ones for sure.
Sure.
The Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad, not great, but the second one, fantastic, super fun.
Yeah.
Loved every minute of it. It was great. Well, I say that. Look, my entire vision of that movie is clouded because I decided to watch it on HBO, and every 15 seconds it was like stuttering, and it sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, what a terrible watching
that on
was.
launch week was a little bit rough for sure.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, the last little bit of Marvel news. Well, not necessarily news, is that Moon Knight trailer. Kind of crazy. It made YouTube records for Marvel. It is the first trailer with 1 million likes in the fastest amount of time, I guess. The first trailers for Hawkeye had 915,000. WandaVision had 760. Loki's second trailer had 723,000. Kind of just scaled up from there. So it's either, it could also be, you could look at that data and be like, well, yeah, it's the most recent. Marvel's obviously grown a lot since then. So maybe the fandom's just getting bigger. But still kind of crazy that Moon Knight, talking about fringe characters, probably the fringiest ones that Marvel's put out, in my opinion, is doing super well. It's doing very, very well. People are very excited about it. And people even that have no idea who the fuck characters are in that. So exciting stuff. I went and read the Warren Ellis run of Moon Knight, at least the first 6 issues of that like 18 issue run. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Bronze, what was the name for more reading material? What was the name of the run that you recommended? Started with an L.
Oh my God.
Do you remember?
You asked, like, I said it last week. No.
Lewis.
Wasn't Lewis.
I'm waiting for chat.
Lemire. Jeff Lemire.
Okay. Is that part of the same run, or is that a different thing entirely?
It's a different thing entirely. I read these like as they were coming out 5 years ago, and I don't know if they're tied to anything else. I'll just say this. It was the first Moon Knight comic I ever read.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like I needed any context to understand what was happening personally.
Got it.
So,
oh yeah,
and the art is beautiful it was the art's beautiful from cover to cover as well. It's a really good run.
Lemire is Lemire.
For some reason I could not think of his name.
Yeah, the Warren Ellis run was kind of strange. Of it, like they called him Mr. Knight, and he's wearing like a suit with like his normal helmet thing, normal mask. And he just like goes around the city kind of solving different mysteries, and that's kind of it. I would assume the rest of the series kind of fleshes out what they're trying to go for there. But yeah, it was an interesting take, I guess, on the character. I would imagine the run that you're referencing here, Bronze, is a little bit more what we're going to get in the show, from what I can gather.
I think so. I haven't read some of the older runs. I've kind of like looked into some of them after reading the Lemire run, but I think they're leaning towards the Lemire run because the Lemire run, most of the covers are with him in a straitjacket, and they reference some stuff that's already happened, but it's like he basically doesn't have powers, and they've convinced him that being Moon Knight was a delusion. Like it's in his head. Like, and him thinking he knows all these other superheroes is like it's all fake. Like he's just having like I think that I don't know. Well, he has what DID.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
don't want to like misspeak and say, but yeah, they're basically trying to convince him that he's created this reality, but it's not real. But then you cut between the different identities, and it seems like in one he's like filming a movie and he's a film star, and in the other he's like Moon Knight, and then in the third he's a patient in an asylum, and you cut between all three of them. And then I don't want to spoil anything if you guys go read it. It's really good.
Cool.
But I think that's what they're leaning towards in this one, because they kind of have this whole like insomnia vibe going, which I really like, because I feel like that when you're tired, you kind of tend to blur reality anyway. Like your brain gets kind of fried with that.
Right.
So I like that they're not putting him directly in an asylum, because as we've seen from Iron Fist, it's too easy to get tropey and kind of formulaic with that. I like that instead they just have him chaining himself to his bed, and because it's like even though it's cool in the comic, not everything translates well to like a TV show format or to the screen. And I'm just not sure I'm interested in seeing somebody in a straitjacket in an asylum where we have the same tired scenes of every doctor being like, these are just delusions of a broken mind, you know?
You were
Like, 'cause
stuck
we've seen
on
that.
the mountain. And your
Yeah,
family's all dead. Like, okay, cool.
we've seen it so many
You went to
times. Like,
Kowloon? Okay, sure you did.
we need Jesse as the
As the
doctor.
doctor in the future Marvel films, yeah.
I don't-
You sound
What do you
like
mean?
what's his name from Hydra? Whatever that actor's name is from
I'm
Hydra. in the
not
MCU.
from Hydra. I will say Bronze is right on the money when it comes to the fact that there's a fine line that they have to walk where
Arnim Zola. There you go.
like there's a compelling narrative to the guy suffering from delusions or whatever. There's something there, but also because the original boy, I hope I get this right. The original
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
what?
I'm hyping up whatever you're gonna get right, but I hyped it up too much. You're like very
You
nervous
scared
now.
me. I
You're
was like, what do you
scared.
mean? No, there's the original Moon Knight stuff.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
It wasn't that he was crazy so much as that, like, Bronze, you definitely know more than me on this, but the idea that like he purposefully was creating alternate versions of himself to like there was the main version, and then there was like the rich socialite version, and then there was like the version of him that's like the normal on the street Joe, and they were done so. And only later, and what you're talking about, Bronze, was it like, oh, this dude was like they made him like actually have issues rather than, you know what I'm saying? Basically what I'm trying to get at is that there's a very fine line when storytelling on TV where it's like it has to be compelling, but not just a dude in a straitjacket for like 5 episodes. Well, we're all like, we know he's like,
Yeah,
we know
just
he's
move
going to
on
be a
with the story.
superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah.
So I think putting him out in the world, giving him the same like what's real kind of vibe, but also not having it be like, oh no, this guy needs help.
Yeah.
I think that's the line they have to walk.
It's interesting because it's like it's about comic book continuity, right? So you are right in that some iterations, like they try to. I don't. I'm not the biggest Moon Knight expert either because I haven't read complete old runs. I've just went back and read the ones that like they say you got to read these Moon Knight issues between 12 and 19. I will say they heavily that's where I was like getting confused with the DID thing because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I feel like at times in the comics they said he was schizophrenic, but I know that in the Lemire run that's not true.
In the
So,
Ellis run,
I
they
d-
also say what you say, where it's DID, is what.
Yeah, but I could have swore that like in older comics they imply that he is just schizophrenic.
I just want to say to R Cloud 7, Moon Knight is a lunatic is my favorite line I've ever read in my life.
Luna, okay.
He's a lunatic. That's
pretty good.
Mwah,
That's pretty good.
mwah, 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 mwah. It's so good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They also imply that Khonshu isn't real in
the
some
book?
of the old runs. Yeah, they imply that like
And the one
it's
that
a
I read,
schizophrenic-
he's straight up real. Like they
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, later on they said no, he's definitely real. But I feel like in the old stuff they're like, oh, he's a schizophrenic. Moon Knight is, or like this Moon Knight persona isn't real. And they kind of almost make it seem like his mental disorder is what gives him his superpowers, which I feel like later on they were like, oh, this is probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
And so later on they're like, oh well, he has dissociative identity disorder, and in one of those personalities, that person was saved by Khonshu, and Khonshu is real, but the other identities don't necessarily know that.
Right. They keep it.
Some of them
also-
think it's a delusion, and other identities think it's real.
Yeah.
This is also territory where, like, during the run of these comics, I don't think anyone.
No, it's gonna
We're
be a
dealing
show.
with like some psychology that I don't think people, even at the time, were like, I don't know what half of this means, really.
Oh, I mean,
I
it was
think we're still trying to learn.
at least the one that I read was from like 2019. And I think the Lemire
Oh,
run is
all right.
2016, 2017. So it's pretty recent. It's not super old. One thing that we didn't cover, we watched the trailer for those that aren't aware. If you want to watch our reactions to it on YouTube, and we went into the character. One thing I didn't know about the character, which I'm interested to see how they talk about it, or if they talk about it in the show, is that he was the son of a rabbi, and I believe was Jewish in some of the comic books. And they don't like, people are wondering if that's going to be a facet of his character, because essentially he goes to some war and is killed and buried. And that's where he meets Khonshu, who brings him back to life. So I'm curious to see like how they deal with any of that, because it was a pretty big part of his character from what I could gather, after we ended up doing that recording last Monday, right when that trailer aired. Knowing Disney, they probably won't touch on that. But we'll see. It's pretty like pivotal to the character. I don't know though. Marvel obviously will decide at the end of the day. Disney, the mouse, will obviously decide at the end of the day there, how that goes. But
I went on Marvel Unlimited, which, by the way, Marvel Unlimited, great. Some great stuff on there.
sure.
However, they do not have Moon Knight. Or the Lemire version they don't have, at least.
If you have Comixology, they have the Lemire version for $20. You get all 14 issues on Comixology if you want to spend money.
Pretty limited, Marvel Unlimited.
I'm a big Comixology fan.
Yeah,
even
Comixology is better.
Amazon acquisition, it's easier for me to load up on an iPad.
Comixology also have a system in place where if you sign up through your local comic book store, they get a percentage of the proceeds?
Well, I don't know.
At least
that's
that was
awesome.
pre-Amazon acquisition. Let me see if they actually still do that.
Yeah, that is the first I had heard of that. And that's pretty awesome if that's the case.
They used to have a referral system. It was like kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I looked briefly on their website and did not see anything along those lines. They might have gotten rid of it with Amazon coming into play.
I think they did. Yeah, back in 2011 they did.
Yeah. But yeah, the other thing is there's a paperback version of I don't think it would be considered an omnibus, but the issues 1 to 14 by Lemire and Smallwood of Moon Knight is coming out in March. If you want the physical version of that, just in time for the show. That's what they call brand synergy right there. That's what we're getting out of that. So yeah.
Wait, so they don't do this anymore? Okay, so it used to be, I found details on it, and maybe you can look into it, chat, just to put it out there. But it used to be that shops can create a Comixology account and add a link on their store website and create basically a digital storefront. And then they can refer their customers to that storefront. And for the purchases you make, a portion of that goes back to your local store. So you can still purchase. It used to be they had like a referral system. I hope they still do post. Actually, I just clicked on the retailers.comixology.com link and it's gone. That's so sad.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
No, that's so sad. That makes me so angry.
Well,
I mean, local comic book stores are dying, especially like post-pandemic. So it's just like it sucks, but
yeah. That's what happens. Jesse, you got your shocked Pikachu face on. What's happening?
Sorry, I realize I'm still over at Marvel Unlimited because I was trying to figure out what they did have. And apparently there's a run right now called Kang the Conqueror. And it's about Kang tracking down all of his like other Kangs. And in issue 3, he fights Dr. Doom. I'm like, this shit looks wild.
That's an old run, I think.
October 13th, 2021 was the Kang number 3.
Maybe that was coming out right when Loki started or something. Because it's like the good Kang. It's like the Iron Man Kang or whatever, right? The Kang that like joins the Avengers to hunt down his other selves.
Well, so there's Kang is going to go find the Avengers Kang. That's definitely happening.
Yeah.
But this is like this
Iron
looks
Lad.
wild.
Yeah, that's
I'm
his name.
gonna read the hell out of this.
Yeah.
This looks great. Yeah, straight up, they're doing the. I just went and looked at the first episode, or not episode, the first few pages of Kang #3, and they're straight up doing origin stuff. It's like him in ancient Egypt and shit. Like, damn! All right, I'm reading that. That looks great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be ready for
Hey,
the next phase of the MCU.
I'm into this idea that we're reading comics because I also like here's the thing. I thought comics were going to take this like super long. It'd be very expensive. I read 6 episodes in like 40 minutes last week. Or six. I read 6 episodes. I read 6 comics
go through
in like
comics
40
fast.
minutes. And
That's
I was like, oh, this is great. Just got my iPad,
Yeah,
read it real quick
I
while I was
think-
taking a bath. And oh, cool. I understand the character a lot more. Right? Like,
Yeah, I think what a lot of people forget is that the way comics are published, a lot of them are monthly.
yeah.
A majority of them are not weekly. So they're written in such a way that they actually propel the plot forward pretty quickly, and they try to cover what happened in the last episode
Right.
because they need to establish plot and a hook for the next. I could talk about comics all day. I think they're a feat that in so few pages they can push a story forward and establish a hook to get you to read the next one in a month. Like, that's a long commitment. They're like, you're not reading the next one for 4 weeks,
Yeah.
and we somehow have to keep you interested enough. So they go for big swings. It's not a slow burn. They take big swings in comics, even in weekly comics. Like, I'm trying to think of a weekly. Like Batman. Batman, I feel like, is usually a weekly run. They still take big swings because it's 7 days between getting them.
Sure.
I feel like those overlap more because they're almost assuming you might not read it for a couple weeks at a time. So they'll recap and be like, well, as you know, Jesse Cox, JP already said that if we don't get back the defibrillator, that Oscar Isaac will never be Moon Knight. Ah, yes. I remember when you said that, and therefore we must get back the defibrillator. They'll do that a lot because they're expecting that maybe you haven't read all of them.
Right.
But the pacing in comics, like, they'll in 30 issues, they'll tell a whole freaking like 3 movies worth of story.
Yeah, my experience with comics has only been like omnibus shit, right? Like reading 120 issues of Walking Dead in like 2 nights or something like that. Right? Or reading the entirety of Invincible in like 1 sitting type situation.
Yo, The Walking Dead is a unique case. I saw how much those first issues were worth a handful of years ago, and I felt bad for not keeping mine. But the thing is like, I literally read it and was like, this is something I'm going to want to read in trade paperback. Because I feel like that comic is a slog compared to like the comics I'm used to. It's so slow, Chad. It's like molasses.
Well,
they give
I
you
can see
plot at a trickle.
Issue to issue, how it would be slow. Again, I was reading hundreds of issues at a time. So
the first trade paperback is, I think, 1 or 2 episodes of the show, and it's the first trade paperback, and it's literally like one or 2 episodes of the show. You're like, oh my god, it's the slowest running comic ever. It's like Inuyasha levels of slow.
The old Inuyasha. Jesse, what are you shaking your head for? And then let's talk X2.
Nothing. I'm not like surprising. I'm just not a Walking Dead fan. I just never have been.
Okay.
So
that's
all.
I just bought the Lemire run because all you have to do is literally click one button and then it just circles, and then now it's there and I can click read and the comics it's viewable. That's why Comixology is bad. And I'm closing the website now, so I don't buy anymore. It's a real bad website for spending money. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing over there. So let's shift gears and talk a little bit about X-Men 2. Jesse Cox selected this film to watch, and we said, sure. Why the hell not? Big fan of that opening sequence, Jesse Cox.
Huge fan of the opening.
However,
huge fan of the entire movie. Love it.
I do want to say, had Nightwalker not have gotten shot, he would have stabbed the president.
Maybe.
Did you just say Nightwalker?
Nightcrawler. Who's Night?
The prostitute. That
Who
old
the fuck
prostitute.
is Nightwalker?
Nightwalker, the whore that.
The
lady
one.
of the night.
He's just trying to get with everyone in that movie.
Nightwalker.
Under the guise of God. I don't even know how Nightwalker got into my brain. Maybe I'm just
Nightwalker.
always referring to him as Nightwalker.
Yeah, Nightwalker. You know what? You don't want him to crawl anymore. You think he should walk?
I think
proudly.
he should walk.
Stand tall.
He should walk. Stand tall. You should be proud of yourself, you circus person.
JP watched Sex Men 2.
Sex Men 2. That's what we're supposed to watch, right? That's
Sex
the one
Men,
where
yeah,
it's just yeah. Speaking of Sex Men 2,
I wasn't a fan of.
Was anyone else weirded out by the sequence where like Wolverine's in a tent and Anna Paquin's character pops up and it's like, what the fuck is like, what the hell is this? Why is Anna Paquin's Rogue potentially a thing that like Wolverine wants to sleep with? What the fuck? That was out of nowhere. I was very weirded out by that sequence.
She was putting up all the she was like trying to find his right girl. Look,
it was weird.
It's
a little strange.
It was.
I mean, Jesse, let's be real here. The first 30 minutes of the film are just love triangles and sexual tension. Because it's like you got Bobby, Pyro, and Rogue, and they're all like, why are you mad? This is turning girl on. And I'm like, all right, calm down. Yeah. And then I had that moment where Wolverine shows up and she goes running, and it's very clear that Bobby's jealous. And I'm like, bro, this is being jealous of her dad.
Yeah, he like shakes his hand and freezes Wolverine. And Wolverine's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Later on, he says he wants to bang Rogue, and Wolverine gives him like a bitch look, and he's like, but then he checks him on it, which is great because he's like, you know, the way you look at Jean, and he's like, what bitch? And I'm like, oh yeah, got him.
Yeah, because they have all these moments in that first, like, Wolverine shows up, and that guy Bobby's jealous of his interaction with Rogue, and then Storm is like awkward third wheel between him and Jean, and then him and Jean show up, and then there's immediately a same face off between Wolverine and Cyclops, and Scott, and I'm just like, okay, how many people are going to try to intimidate Wolverine?
Which is never going to work. Yeah,
intimidatable.
They just don't know any better.
Two things. Two things. This is a travesty to the Cyclops character. The actor that played it immediately just looks like a piece of shit. And I think they did a terrible role with Scott Summers in this entire film and maybe the entire trilogy. I hate it. It really pisses me off. I'm a huge Cyclops
Scott Summers
fan.
Scott Summers doesn't make it through the trilogy.
No, he doesn't make it through the trilogy. I know. I'm aware he dies in the next movie. That's how bad he sucks. They realize that he's that unimportant to the fucking character, to the show. They kill him.
I mean,
and second,
I agree.
Before we move on, Wolverine's hair is just a masterclass. It's just insane. Go look at his hair when he first gets into the house. It looks like he's in fucking curlers. And it's so stupid looking. It's just absurd. It's absurd. Anyways, those are my two quick takes.
I have to agree, though. Like, I feel like in the comics and stuff, Cyclops is so much more redeemable. Like, he's not a perfect character, but you could have the argument of him not being a bad guy, right?
He's like rocking around in like polo shirts and like those dumb fucking glasses that like get him a better pair of glasses. He looks like he just came off of a fucking yacht with a bunch of other dude bros and he's gonna go drink a bunch of like light
point
beer.
Trying to go for.
I mean, maybe
what makes him, what really makes it suck is that when you have a character that to me is likable, like Jean Grey. I really love that actress, and I just really like that character.
What is her last? It's like Femke
Jensen?
Jensen, that's what it was.
Femke Jensen, yes.
Yeah.
What's frustrating is you, as a viewer, are just like, who would pick him?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's so annoying. You're just like, you didn't give us a reason. Like, I feel like a movie or a show that did a really good job of that was Stranger Things, where you start out being like, why would the main character be into this Steve Harrington guy? But then they actually kind of show character growth for
Steve
that.
Harrington's fucking badass.
Yeah. And then you're like,
Steve Harrington can beat the shit out of Cyclops any day.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you take like a bro, right? Like somebody that's like, oh, this is the popular jock and everyone wants to hate them. They somehow made him likable to where when he gets rejected, you feel bad for him. You're like, wait, but he showed so much character growth and he's so great, you know? But you start out that season not liking him. They could not do that for Cyclops to save their fucking lives. They could not in any way, shape, or form make you be like, oh, Scott Summers, like you're kind of rooting for him, even though you like Logan. And it's like, nope. You, for a character that's as intelligent and just kind of like, I don't know, just smart and humble like Jean Grey, you just don't understand why she would ever pick Scott Summers.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I agree. Maybe that's just a 90s thing. Maybe like Scott Summers was the 90s portrayal of what a likable / attractive guy was supposed to be. And then there's Wolverine, who was the actual.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses for the movie.
No, there's no look. In X-Men 1, the first one,
yeah,
Jean and Scott were a thing, and Scott was like the guy who's like, I'm not gonna let the kids skate down this mountain because my dad owns it or whatever. And he was that character. And then in X-Men 2, they just like had too many characters to deal with. So they made him a guy for a few moments, and then he was a mindless zombie the rest. That's it. That's the only character development that he gets because everyone loves it.
Yeah. About halfway through the movie, he gets captured, and then he turns into like a zombie at that point.
Yeah, everyone loves Wolverine.
Yeah.
And they wanted to see Wolverine's story, and that's what it's about.
Well, Hugh Jackman was also the hot shit.
Is it bad that his acting between being a zombie and not being a zombie is the same?
Same thing. It's the same thing. It never changes.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you?
I will
James
rip
Marsden
on
sees
Cyclops.
Sonic the Hedgehog. How dare you?
Oh my God, that is the
Sonic the
same
Hedgehog.
guy. You're totally right. That is the same dude, except he put on a lot of muscle between the two films. You're right.
How dare you? He saved Sonic and raised Superman's kid.
That.
How dare you?
Wait, what? Superman's kid.
Yeah, Superman Returns. He was the other guy.
Really?
Married Lois Lane. Yes. You guys tossing shade. You don't even know, man. He was in the trenches.
I can toss all the shit I want. He still sucked dick in this movie. He was fucking awful. He was fucking trash. Get him out of there.
This movie's great. This movie's great.
Scott
you guys
Summers
have
blows.
Trash takes.
Scott Summers blows in X-Men 2. Trash character.
Takes. Really great.
Do you know? Okay, hold up though. There is one scene where it kind of made sense, but once again, they didn't like follow through hard enough. And I agree it's because of what Jesse said. There's too many characters in the movie. But earlier in the film, at one point, I love that they did this. Logan basically asked the same question the audience is asking, which is, why the fuck are you with that douchebag?
True.
Why?
True.
And she answers the question, right? She says, well, because you're going to always leave and he's always going to be there.
He's
and I was
the
like,
safe
oh,
guy
Jean,
or whatever,
honey,
right? And then what
won't
she says?
settle.
Yeah.
But I was like, Jean, honey, don't settle. Don't do this to yourself. But it's kind of, they don't, I feel like at the time they say that line, you're kind of like, girl, you crazy. But then later on, that does come true. Because when they're in the compound and they're all deciding where to go and how to split up, Jean's like, okay, I'm going to go this way. Storm's like, I'm going to take Nightcrawler and go this way. And then Storm says, where's Wolverine? And they cut to Jean Grey, and there's this look on her face that's like, and that's why I won't date him. Because at the end of the day, he's gonna, like, he does not check in with her at all to be like, hey, are you good? You need backup? He's like, no, I gotta go find my creator. And I think at the end of the film, he's the guy that Jean should date. But I would agree with her that at that point where I'm like, man, he just kind of bounced. He was like, bye to like his friends. And it's kind of like, you don't care about these kids that are trapped. He one track mind because that's Logan, right? He's like, nope, need to find my creator. I need answers. Fuck these women.
True.
I can't fathom the fact that we're having a discussion about X-Men 2 and with so many great moments, we're talking about fucking Scott Summers
because
and Jean Grey.
Because he's in the movie so much and he's not great.
I can't believe who gives a fuck about Scott? He sucks. Scott Summers has always sucked. Scott Summers is not a character.
You watch your tongue.
Scott Summers sucks giant ass. Why do you care how he's portrayed? Oh my God, this is insane to me. You were I'm going to go on a 25-minute rant about Scott Summers. Get the fuck out of here. This is insane. Scott Summers? Scott Summers?
Look at this man, Jesse. Look at that picture. What a
You
badass.
put this picture up, and immediately I was like, this is how JP's selling me this guy.
Look at that guy.
Guy sucks.
That guy
Scott Summers
fucks.
has
Jesse
always
Cox.
sucked. Scott Summers has always sucked. Always. Cyclops sucks.
No,
Sucks.
that's not true.
Then how did he pull not one, but two bad psychic bitches? Explain that, Jesse. This dude pulls
they may be
more
psychic. They may be psychic, but they're
punani
terrible
than like
judges of
any
character.
other dude in the fucking X-Men universe. Not one, but two of the baddest mutant bitches.
I didn't know we judged people on who they banged. I didn't know that's where society was.
You. I do. Like when you got
judge
Jean,
people on who they
Emma,
banged?
No, off of who they can pull. When you got
ThatBronzeGirl
Emma,
judges people on who they've had sex with.
Listen, this man has a magic dick. To pull Jean and Emma? Are you kidding me, Jesse? That says something. There's got to be something about him.
Look, by your logic, I'm in the same boat. I must have a magic dick because just like him, I only pull crazy people. Bronze. Because this dude, you're like, he got Jean Grey, he got Emma. Those are the two of the craziest bitches in Marvel. They out of their damn mind. They're crazy. By your logic, I'm over here with a giant golden cock, is what I'm hearing. So, all right, I agree. I completely agree.
I'm just saying, there's got to be something about him. You know what, JP? Black out my camera too. Get me out of here as well. Hey, he's got some qualities. That's all.
Oh man. So, anyways,
just saying, Scott Summers sucks, and he always has, and always will.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He sucks.
In media, yes. In the show, he sucks.
Yes. In all media, comics.
In animated and live action media, dog shit character.
He sucks. No,
I literally thought you said media because that's how much this conversation has evolved.
Oh man. Anyways, apart from Scott Summers and the love triangle that exists amongst other characters in the film, pretty good movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
I honestly believe it's the only good X-Men movie.
I haven't seen X1 or I honestly, so you have to remind me, what is the film that starts off and they're in the future with like Warpath? Is that Days of Future Past?
Yes, that's Days of Future Past.
That's the one where they combine everyone and like,
yes.
Okay. Is that movie good?
I don't think so. I would say I think
I remember
X-Men
it starts off and I was
good.
kind of like, oh shit, that's Warpath right there. This is incredible.
I think X-Men First Class is very good, but I don't know that Days of Future Past is great.
Is Days of Future Past or First Class the one where Wolverine wakes up in like a 70s bed and that same song's playing?
That's Days of Future Past with like Wolverine. We have to send you back in time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
Days of Future Past did
That's good, then.
one of the biggest cinema sins I've ever seen, which is ripping Colossus in half when his whole thing is that I was like,
wait,
I
what?
audibly,
Really?
Yes, I audibly gasped when it happened because Colossus is my favorite boy.
Oh, Colossus is great. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was also like like this. I will say this movie did a job with Colossus. Deadpool.
He was fine.
I watched Deadpool just for Colossus. I'm not even gonna fucking front.
I hate the
That's
portrayal
my
of Colossus in Deadpool. I feel like it's too jokey.
Really?
Yeah, it's like too campy.
Really?
I feel like I've read the old, like, I think that's like one of the few comics I've read the old ones of, and he's just such a silly boy. Like the gift he gives people, him and Nightcrawler are like just like these sweet boys. So
I think you mean Nightwalker, the Russian circus star. Nightwalker.
I need Deadpool from now on to be like, oh, it's Nightwalker, my friend Nightwalker.
My friend Nightwalker. Yeah, Yeah.
The Russian circus star, not the German, not the Wagner. No, now he's
Yes, he's the Russian.
Look,
Here's I like a stoic Colossus, and I feel like the Deadpool character, while it's a fun character, it's just like a laugh track Colossus. Like he's the straight guy there for Deadpool
like,
to make fun of, which is fine. I don't think it's a bad character.
That's how you make him interesting.
Yeah. I like the like stand there, can't fucking get hurt, guile ass haircut looking motherfucker Colossus. Right? Like that's what
I'm so. Can I tell you how like genuinely shocked I am?
Yeah.
That we are talking like this is how I know that times have changed drastically.
Yeah.
We watched X-Men 2
Uh-huh.
and had a conversation about a love triangle and Cyclops and all these, and here I am thinking like, man, I can't wait to talk to them about that scene where like what's her face, Rebecca Romaine at the time, who was like
Blowing
a Hollywood it girl,
Yeah.
takes this dude in the bathroom.
Yes.
Like, takes this dude in the bathroom. Definitely shit goes down. She jacks him up with metal. The next day he goes into work and Magneto sucks the metal out of his ass.
That was a really wild scene to see happen.
Badass.
Yeah.
That was really wild. You know what I did love about this movie that I'm not sure they would do now, to like piggyback off what you're saying, Jesse? I love that they showed that the X-Men are violent as fuck. Like the amount of people we've seen Logan murder in this film.
Logan fucking kills a billion people.
Chink like right in the fucking chest cavity. And I was like, yeah, no, that should be the case. Like, why wouldn't he? Like, these people are storming and stealing these children. Like, he should. And I feel like now they don't do that because it's like, well, they're superheroes. In a post Captain America MCU, I just don't think we would ever see a character, a hero,
probably not,
fucking straight up murder. I was trying to keep count. I
lost count at Berserker mode.
Yeah,
I lost count at 17.
Oh, the people he kills.
I lost count. I forgot to count, but he killed at least 17 people.
I think the only scene you need to mention, I mean, forget the fact that he was just stabbing dudes the entire film. I still remember the scene when I was a kid watching Yumiko or whatever her name is get her head filled with adamantium. And then when it clinks against the glass, as a kid, I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
I felt bad for her because it's like Logan knows that they're being controlled and he still does it.
Yeah.
Because he's a survivor, you know? And I was like, yo, but you know that she's being controlled.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he still showed no restraint. He was
he pumped that. She got pumped full of adamantium and then floated to the bottom of that thing and goes, clink. That was the only scene I remembered from this movie back from when I was a kid. And I watched it. I was like, yeah, it's still fucked. Dude, it's still crazy.
He ties that man down so he drowns.
Oh, Magneto. Yeah. Yeah. And even the thing over his face
goes so hard.
It wasn't even like around it was like a face thing.
Yes.
So like he couldn't.
He was like, suck a D, Stryker, I'm out. I genuinely love Magneto in this movie. He's so much fun as a villain. Where he's like, look, I'm just a little bad boy. I love. Look, it's not. Let me be clear. I don't think any of the X-Men movies measure up to anything in current MCU.
Yeah.
I don't think they're not even like close. I think comic book movies have come a long way. Even the intro to this movie reminds you of someone should do a video about comic book movies from the 90s and early 2000s versus today, where every intro, like in the beginning, it's like, mutants, this is some shit that I'm saying to you. And now for a title screen that is like going through genes, and it's like, it's like shitty CG of like you going through like a brain or something. And all I'm saying is, it's very similar to every superhero movie intro. Spider-Man had the one where you're going through the webs. It's like early CG, just like title screen shit. I'm telling you, it is certainly an interesting phenomenon, but they're not great. However, this is my favorite one.
I thought the film was fine. I didn't have really any major issues with it. But again, I'm also someone that was like, maybe I should watch Iron Fist episode 3, even though we're not watching anymore. So I'm an easy
Don't
sell.
do it.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is
I
rough.
I did not watch it yet.
I feel divided. I feel like in some ways I love that those movies were a little bit more grandiose about the idea that we're dealing with characters in costumes. You know? So like why not like not everything has to be like kind of real. I think what new movies do very well is they figured out that we care more about the characters than we do about the power set.
Right.
Right?
Mm.
Because like you wouldn't have had an Ant-Man movie in the 2000s because we would think that power was kind of dumb. You know? And now it's like, oh, no, because like Paul Rudd's Scott Lang is very likable. So like like the Ant-Man movie, the first one has more of him out of that costume than it has him in the costume. Like they've kind of figured out that, oh, we like the character. What makes Tony Stark interesting is Tony Stark, not necessarily the Iron Man suit. Back in the 2000s, they didn't understand this, and that was a big failing. I feel like they focused way too much on like power and abilities and stuff like that.
Right.
But I do
That was
like
kind
that
of
they
X-Men in general from the comics. Like, you know, they would just introduce a random mutant. It's like, this guy can fucking shit gold or something. And everybody like, oh my God, he shits gold. Like, it didn't matter. Right about his name. That's just how mutants were back then.
yeah. And I feel like back then they also like accepted that like, okay, these are I don't know, like Magneto is over the top ridiculous. Like and I feel like that's kind of magnetic in a lot of ways. Like he
Nice,
has
good
a
job.
very magnetizing personality because I don't know how to describe it. Like
If
he
you keep doing it,
conducts
it's not going to make it better.
No, keep
I
it
know.
up. Keep it up. You're doing great.
He conducts himself as
Get the
a
fuck out of here.
as like but you know what I'm talking about, though, Jesse?
It's
Like
very
he has like
polarizing.
I do.
You know?
gravitas. This
Yes.
gravitas when he's on screen, but he definitely carries himself like a superhero.
Yeah, he's definitely fuck you. I'm stronger than ever. Like he even says to Pyro, like, don't act lesser than these ants, or you're a god among ants, or something.
You're a god among insects.
Yeah,
Yeah,
god
he's
among
just
insects.
very like
yeah.
you know, like it's like he's on a stage. You know,
Sure.
he's showing those theater acting chops, and here's the thing, Patrick Stewart is kind of doing the same thing. Like they both have this like, I have come onto the camera.
They're definitely
you know,
dads. Yeah, they're
and I
definitely
like that.
theater dads.
I really
The
like
scene-
that.
The
Yeah.
scene where Professor X wheels into Magneto's chamber and he's like, "What have you done?" He's like, "I couldn't help it, Charles."
Yeah, it's
Yes!
Like that. It's such a great scene. It's so good.
It's so overacted, but it's such a
Oh,
great
it's
scene.
so good.
Yeah.
You would
It's like,
never see
What did
that.
you do?
It's so
What
funny
did you
because you
do?
see like Cyclops fucking being a pouty bitch 5 minutes earlier, and then they go to that scene and like you're just watching two Titans act. Fuck out
What's
of
even
the
crazier,
scene.
that happens during that scene where they're in that room together and they're like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, Charles." And then in the background down the hallway is Cyclops like
Yeah.
looking around in the background of the scene, and you're just like,
This guy's fucking shit. He
this is-
sucks.
And again, that's the problem with all of these movies. The X-Men, the original trilogy, X-Men 1, 2, and 3, is plagued by tiers of acting.
Totally.
And there's no better example. Look, X-Men 1, I think, is like, I don't think it's very good, but that movie,
It's the one that ends at Statue of Liberty, right?
that's the one where literally Halle Berry's like, "What happens when a frog is hit by lightning? The same thing as everything else." She says that and then electrocutes the guy who played Darth
It's
Maul.
So good.
The guy who played Darth
He
Maul
roasts
has
Toad. Yeah, she fucking.
and he plays Toad, and he's like, "Aye!" And he gets electrocuted and flies off the Statue of Liberty. It is not a great movie. It's not.
Oh no, I gotta
it's just
watch
not.
it again for that moment.
It's not a great movie.
Yeah.
But X-Men 2 is like, compared to everything else, and maybe that's the reason why I love it so much. Compared to every other X-Men movie, it's just there's like actually a story that I want to watch.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
And the one thing I think is disappointing. I don't know if it was an X-Men Apocalypse or
no, that's
one of them.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's terrible. But there is the reason why I think I like X-Men 2 is there's a deleted scene. I think it's from X-Men Apocalypse, but it's when all the kids go to the mall. And I think that was always the fun part of the X-Men TV show from the 90s is it was more than just like, and now we have superpowers. It was like people with powers who are looked down in society trying to live in society and then society being like, fucking mutants, get out of here!
Yeah.
And
very much the animated series reminiscent of.
And I think there's a little bit of that in X-Men 2 that I like. I like the idea that they go home to his family and he's been lying to them the entire time. And they're like, well, couldn't you just choose not to be on the
shitty
island?
Brother. Fucking asshole,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
See, that's
Suck
another
a dick,
thing where
Ronnie. You and Scott Summers.
I feel like that's where, once again, Jesse's like hit the nail on the head with the tears of acting. Because, like, Ronnie's just like...
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Then when they... I laughed out loud.
Burnham.
When
Did
they
anyone
cut
else
to his
notice that?
family...
He was fucking Bo Burnham when he's sitting there in the window. It's kind of weird.
But when they cut to that, when they're like... When he's like leaving and he looks back, and he's like acting his fucking ass off, poor Bobby, and he like looks up at the window and the family's like...
Yeah,
I was like, y'all couldn't get people that could act to do
so
this.
stupid.
Y'all really couldn't get people that could act because even his mom, like,
dad was all
Bobby!
right. Yeah.
Oh!
Well, no. The mom has a Halle Berry level quote where she goes, "Have you just tried not being a mutant?"
Not being a mutant. I love that. I love that line. It is
just
so
like,
silly.
He just kind of like rolls his eyes. You got to get here quick, Gene. You got to. Also, let's talk about this. How the fuck do they have a blackbird, and how are they like not just getting away from everyone? It's a goddamn blackbird. What the hell's going on here? It's a blackbird.
Also, how many people did Storm murder when she brought down 300 tornadoes from the fucking sky?
Oh yeah,
and
millions.
how committed was that fighter pilot who was like that man should
That
get a medal.
These mutants. I hate mutants
Fuck
so
you
much.
guys. Yeah.
He was fucking dodging. I was like, who is this pilot?
But the movie does a great job of something that I think is both unintentional and totally... I can't tell whether they were like, this is the message we're sending. But there are many scenes where it seems obvious that the idea is mutants are way... like they show his crappy family and they show like what's his Pyro torching all these cars.
Yeah,
literally roasting a cop alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like...
Well, the guy stands up and walks away and he's like covered in
soot, but like he's like, burn, bitch. Like Halle Berry's summoning tornadoes. Magneto is literally like
crazy strong.
This is this is the movie where I was like, oh yeah, no, mutants are threatening. And I understand why the government would be like, we need to watch. Like it makes sense. It checks out the way they're telling the story, which is, I think, very interesting considering the way that they tell it in First Class is like kind of like, oh, mutants, let's learn about these things. And I think that's great. And at the end, with the like all the missiles, I always wondered how from that point on there was any, you know what I mean? Like Magneto literally takes like no. In X-Men First Class.
Oh yes.
Michael Fassbender stops countless missiles and sends them back. And I was like, if I was the government at that point, I'd be like, fuck, like I can't figure out why there's multiple more movies where like we need to consider the mutant problem and be like, no, that one man.
I think they could just pull the trigger on it. I mean, okay, Jesse, imagine you're the president and you're sitting at your desk and you're about to give an address about the danger of mutants. And then for no reason other than to make you shit yourself, a thunderstorm, a fury of wrath of God type of shit starts happening outside. For no other reason than to make you shit yourself. There's no other functional reason why Storm was doing that. And time pauses. And this man comes in and hands you information and then says, we'll be watching you.
Yeah, no, it's threatening as fuck.
Yeah.
Imagine you, Jesse Cox, the president. And then time goes back to normal. Would you in your right mind be like, mutants aren't scary? I would be like,
I'd be like, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, I'd be like, they're going to kill my family. But I have to tell you that the mutants are fucking scary. They were just in here and they froze time. And they had electrical storms happening outside, and I'm probably going to die, but as my last act as president, I want y'all to know these people are dangerous.
Yeah.
that's like what I love about it as a movie is that it makes the X-Men seem like, holy shit,
They're
these guys are
godlike.
powerful.
Well,
yeah.
it
And that's,
also
I think, the point.
compare that to like the current MCU. That's probably why they have a fucking hard time of like, how do we introduce mutants into this world? Because, like, what the fuck is Captain America gonna do? Throw a shield at Storm and like knock her the fuck out? Like,
No, Storm would be like, Captain America, what does a shield do
Yeah.
in lightning? The same thing. Everything.
God,
she hit him with that fucking line. It'd be crazy.
And then
I forgot she had that accent.
She had the accent. It's crazy.
Here's like
I legit forgot she had that. I'm so upset now that you've reminded me of
Captain
that.
America.
consider the idea of like Iron Man shows up, like Iron Man still exists.
Aurora.
Magneto just goes, "Oh, you're dead." Next character. Like, oh, you're dead. I'm just gonna go like this and crush your body.
But I
You're
think
now
that
a
is an
trash
impetus.
compactor.
I think that's an impetus for why a society would be like, mutants are bad. Like, we need giant ass robots to fight these guys. We need to create a. It makes sense if you show mutants to be as powerful as they can be.
Yeah.
I think that's always fun because then it you know, they're just people with powers, and now they're like pariahs, and you know, it's a fun plot point.
Yeah, it's very strange to, or not strange, but it'll be a very weird situation when, not necessarily if, they ever introduce the X-Men back into the MCU. Like, the power levels of the entire MCU are going to kind of skyrocket in a lot of ways, unless they somehow like reduce the power of it, but then you're changing iconic characters.
I think the main like writing device they used in comics could come into play there, which is something I've always liked about the X-Men, is that they don't necessarily like or get along with the Avengers. Some of them do.
Yeah.
And some
like
of them might
Wolverine,
even
kinda.
help. Yeah. But like a lot of them are like, no, we don't like these people. And it's actually one of my favorite scenes of all time is from House of M, where they're deciding the question of what to do with Wanda Maximoff. And you have the Avengers on one side of like a conference table and the X-Men on the other side of the conference table. The Avengers are like, she's an Avenger, so this should be our decision. And the X-Men are like, she's a mutant. This is our decision.
Right.
And it's like very clear that it's like, sometimes we help you, but we don't like you and we don't trust you. And so there is this difference between humans with abilities and mutants. And you can tell that mutants feel that way about it, where they're like, you're not like us. You're different and we don't trust you. And have even been comic runs where S.H.I.E.L.D. has had some of the robots under their, like, they've been keeping some of these, like, just in case, you know, like people like Nick Fury, they're like, well, what if we need something to take care of someone like Magneto? But of course, you have to understand the mutants are kind of looking at them with one eye where it's like, okay, is that for Magneto or is that for us? Because y'all devised a contraption to kill Hulk. So I'm assuming y'all have devised a contraption to kill us too. And so I like that there is this, like, I can see the mutants like doing guest runs or helping the Avengers from time to time, but I do think they're going to stick to themselves. I don't think they have any interest in like really truly joining up forces, because I just don't think they trust them or like them very much.
Right.
I think that Marvel as a whole, if I had to wager this phase 4 that we're in, this Kang phase, I feel like this is its own thing. But if Marvel was going to do mutants are its own phase. Everything that they create should relate back to mutants. You know what I'm saying? Like every storyline, because mutants as a whole, when they enter the MCU, will fundamentally change power. It
probably starts with like Fantastic Four, right? Like that's the lead-in to that. I would think.
Like whatever the case may be, the idea of it, like Bronze is saying, it changes the power structure of the MCU changes, but in a way that isn't just like, oh, people are powerful, but in a way that's like, oh, we don't know that we trust them. They don't know that they trust us. Everything we do is influenced by our relationship to these people. And the smart money for Marvel is to have a plot point over the course of many movies of like, you know, we're both different from each other, but let's learn from it, like that kind of shit, where then we end up at a place where there's a final movie that's like, and now we fight Galactus or some insane shit. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I'm
Like,
super sad that we haven't seen something like Chris Evans, Captain America standing in the room with Logan, Hugh Jackman's Logan. Like, I don't know how that conversation would go, because as we've seen, this dude has iced motherfuckers, and I don't think a single member of our Avengers roster would be cool with it, except for maybe Black Widow. I think most of them would be horrified at the sheer number of bodies this man has stacked up. He has killed so many people. There's nobody even close in the Avengers. And I think that would be where the issue arises, because a lot of times mutants are their own problem and they don't like when outsiders get involved. Like, if Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix, I think like Avengers would be like, we got to take her down. And mutants would be like, we're going to fight you because she's our problem to deal with and not yours. And I think that's really interesting. I could see them teaming up to fight Galactus, but I could see them right afterwards being like, no, fuck you. This is our problem and
That's
you need
where
to stay out of it.
Yeah, I agree. That's where Cyclops, the fucking badass version, shows up.
There'll never be a badass version. I hate to break this to you, there'll never be a badass version.
There
of
will be a
Cyclops.
day on this very show.
There will never be a badass version.
We might be gray haired.
Never.
And drinking our Metamucil before we start recording.
Never.
But Cyclops is a badass, will be uttered from your mouth.
I will go to the grave knowing with confidence that there'll never be a badass Cyclops. It is not going to happen.
You will eat your words, sir. And your
never happen.
And your grapefruit.
Cyclops has never been badass.
One day.
Ever. Ever.
So
you said that about Blackguard Boltigan, but didn't he break Stark Tower in like half a second? That was him, right?
Maybe.
I don't know anything about him except that his name sucks.
Didn't Black Bolt break Stark Tower?
I mean, here's the thing. He ripped a planet apart because he spoke.
Yeah, I feel like
I think. I mean, a planet's
his
a little
name's
bit more
Blackguard Boltigan. It doesn't matter what he does.
Stark Tower, and then
doesn't matter what he does.
It wasn't even hard for him. It took him a second.
Blackguard Boltigan could spot me a 5 so I could get lunch, and I'd still be like, "You suck, bro. You have the worst name in all of comics."
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Come on, I just bought you lunch, dude."
And then
I'd be like,
what would happen?
"Okay, Blackguard, have fun, buddy."
His best friend Cyclops would fucking laser you from like a mile away with his
goddamn
optic lenses.
Wouldn't. Cyclops would be like, "Oh, jeez, if I kill that guy, Jean's gonna be awfully mad at me." Oh man.
I mean, the movie version.
Blackguard, let's get out of here.
Yeah. You could pull out a mirror and just like shine it back at him and kill Cyclops. Here's a question. Is America Chavez a mutant? How does she get her powers? Because she's going to be in Multiverse of Madness. How the fuck does she get her abilities? Is she an alien?
Who knows with the current canon? Because it's kind of been exposed that like Kamala Khan's not an Inhuman.
Right. Yeah.
So Wanda's not a mutant. So they've never acknowledged mutants or Inhumans or anything. I don't think that this is going to be the first.
It's wild to me that like vampires are introduced into the MCU than mutants.
Yeah.
That's how that to me signals that like Marvel has no idea what the fuck to do with mutants in the MCU.
Well,
they're just super confused.
Do they own the word now?
They bought Fox.
For the longest time,
okay. Yeah, they own Fox.
Because for the longest time, it was just ownership of the word.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with the word Kree. They couldn't actually say that, oh gosh, I forgot his name. Peter Quill.
Oh, yeah.
That Peter Quill was, wait, am I thinking of the right word? Because he's supposed to be Spartax, isn't he? I just remember in that movie, they were specifically not using certain words because they didn't have the rights to them yet. Yeah. I think they didn't have Kree yet, and I think they didn't have Spartax at that time. So they just said, they were like kind of skirting that he's the son of Jason, and that he's...
I also think like Hasbro also has some rights because James Gunn was talking about how he's wanted to introduce the character Bug into Guardians of the Galaxy, but he can't because they don't have the rights to it. He's tried like 3 times or some shit. So that might be something that's owned by some random conglomerate that they just haven't bought yet, unfortunately. But yeah. Jesse, what are you researching? I see those eyes are reading.
I'm just trying to see if there's any update on the word mutant. Most of the stuff you find online is from like 2015, so that's old news. But I'm trying to see based on yeah, they didn't say the word mutant in WandaVision, did they?
No.
No. So yeah, so far there's no use of mutant that I can see, but I'm just trying to research and see if someone said something about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe Deadpool would have mutant.
Maybe. I mean, Cyclops is in Deadpool, so probably, yeah. That might be the most recent use of it.
They also say the word mutant in Deadpool, don't they?
They would have to. I mean, they mention Xavier in that. I mean, Cable is in that movie, in the second one, right? Like, he's a mutant from the future.
But all of that is under
That's
Disney's
all under 20th Century Fox. Now it is, yeah. But when those movies came out, that was a rated R Fox movie.
Yeah, I don't know the legality behind it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can say it or not, but they haven't done it yet. And I don't think America Chavez is going to be the first mutant they introduce. I think it's going to be Wolverine. I think that's I cannot help but feel that it's going to be Wolverine.
It would be wild if if Hugh Jackman just shows up in that movie, even if it's for like 5 seconds.
I would stand up and scream.
Dude, the pop off, like, I'm sorry.
That would be my moment. The way people reacted to Toby being in Spider-Man, I would stand up and scream and clap the way they do in Indian movie theaters. I would be
Toby and Andrew are like, they're a big deal, and that was a big deal when they popped up. But Hugh Jackman, he's like iconic, right? Like that's an iconic role.
How do you come back from that?
Yeah, that's a ginormous role.
There's a this is totally a non-story, but in 2021, they asked Feige, they said, hey, what's the deal with mutants? Are they going to be out? And he's like, it's been heavily discussed, as you imagine, and we have a good feeling on where it's going and when it's going, but all that remains to be seen. So it's a non-answer, but clearly that was last year, so they're up to something.
Yeah, I mean, Multiverse of Madness will probably answer a lot of questions on where the MCU is going, right?
Right.
If it's taking place after a giant man lives in the Indian Ocean, they got to explain some shit.
Why you gotta do this to me?
They got to explain some shit.
Why are you starting on me like this?
I mean, his name is Cyclops, and he's a badass, and you're gonna admit to it one day. Did either of you rewatch Eternals, by the way, on Disney Plus? I was thinking about it.
I didn't watch it on Disney Plus, but I did watch these 3 dudes from the UK that do reaction videos. I watched them react to it.
The whole movie or just parts of it?
Just like their little clip show thing they put on YouTube, and it was I got the gist. I remembered all the movie, and yeah, everyone has the exact same opinions about every single character. It seems pretty universal. Like the best part is, I watched several reaction videos, and every single time Icarus flies into the sun, everyone's reaction is like, "What?"
Yeah,
every time people are like,
"So stupid."
So he's like killed himself.
So weird.
Oh yeah, it's so dumb. It's one
of
my least favorite moments of that movie. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's such a wasted character.
Yeah,
it's like my only feeling is that Marvel didn't know how to have a Superman just because DC doesn't know how to have a Superman in any sort of media at all. It's just a hard character to write. They're just like, just fucking have him fly into the sun. We don't have to worry about it. Just get him out of here. We don't need to deal with him anymore.
There was this article in the India Times that I looked up, and it was actually pretty great because I remember it coming out like 4 years ago, and it was talking about Hugh Jackman being so excited to like eat pasta, and they did a bit on the Tonight Show where he ate an entire bowl of pasta to break his diet. And so, like, I was noticing in Jesse's chat, people are saying, like, he doesn't want to do the role anymore. Here's the thing. I think most of us as viewers, I'm okay with Wolverine being a little chunky if he's old man Wolverine. And I think if we just let Hugh Jackman come back and not be 8-pack, 16-pack shredded, he would do it. That shit destroys your psyche. He was not allowed to eat carbs for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And he said in that interview, like, oh, like, he's like,
There's ways around
I don't,
it
yeah,
to shoot
yeah.
around it. Like,
He's thin now. I mean, but what I'm saying is like one of the things he talked about isn't necessarily the fitness regimen, but that like he had to feel bad about eating bread for like 8 years. Like he said, there's a direct quote where he said, "I'm looking forward to eating bread." And the interviewer says sandwiches. He says, "No, just plain loaves of bread and baking bread and not feeling guilty afterwards." That like that's like imagine for like 10 years of just like feeling horrible.
I go 8
anytime
minutes
you-
without eating bread, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is a travesty. Yeah.
And I
No,
never
get it.
understood the need for him to be just completely fucking shredded in Logan. I was like, no, he's an old man at the end of his career. I understand he has a regenerative factor. I'm willing to suspend disbelief. He's a short, stocky, hairy guy in the comics.
Yeah.
He is not this like rips off his shirt and it's just abs. Like that's not how I see him. I see him as a dude in flannel, and I'm sure he's been drawn that way. They've all been drawn multiple ways. I see him as this short, dude in flannel that's like super stocky.
Here's what I'm saying. Get Tom Cruise to play Wolverine. That's the new Wolverine.
Stop this.
Right
Not
there.
Stop this.
Not
He's short.
this.
You don't have to get him a box anymore.
He's too old. Here's the thing. As much as we want Hugh Jackman to do a thing, I'm fine with Hugh Jackman coming back in like a Multiverse of Madness situation. But like,
For like
no
a real
way
recast.
they're going to cast him. A real recast they're going to recast everyone.
Yeah.
As younger actors they can use for 20 years. It's just when we're old, they're still going to be like young as shit. Like we just need to accept that. We need to accept that we're going to age gracefully.
But I just feel bad for whoever is going to.
Oh, it's a nightmare of a role. Yeah, but then again, they did it with Spider-Man, right? And they've done it with Batman like a billion times, so it's possible.
Sure,
it's not. It's not a thing that it would never exist.
Tom Holland had the grace of having Andrew Garfield before him.
Right, it's definitely a slump.
Andrew Garfield replacing Toby was bad. Like the reason I think that Tom Holland had a fair chance is because Andrew Garfield got a lot of the boo because we like Toby.
Yeah.
So he shouldered all of that. And by the time Tom came in, we were like, well, he's better than that Garfield guy.
I mean, we got a new Blade. We haven't seen him yet, but we got a new Blade, right? And like Wesley Snipes.
I'm scared. I love Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
I love Mahershala Ali. I absolutely adore Mahershala Ali. But that movie in general is hard to do because it's like very kind of cheesy.
It's easy. You give him some ice skates and you say, here's a hill. And that's it.
Yeah.
2 hours of that. It's hard to do it. It's going to take some time to get up it. And they can't say the F word, right? So does that line even work? I don't know.
I think the way they're going to get away with it is it's going to be a very different Blade.
Toned down.
You know?
Well, it's going to have fucking pouty faced Jon Snow walking around and just be like, Cersei left me. She got abducted by a giant man in the sky and we have to go chase him. Because I'm Dane Whitman with the fucking sick ass sword. It talks to me. Blade. Did you know my sword talks to me?
What I need from this movie is Wesley Snipes to be in it for some reason and him say to Jon Snow, always bet on black. I'm going to need that. I want it so badly.
Isn't he in prison?
Did he get out? I don't know because he was in What We Do in the Shadows in that one episode where there was the Council of Vampires.
Yes. And it's hilarious. He's on a Zoom call and he doesn't know how to like use the laptop. It's so fucking good. It's fucking good.
He has like lag and shit. It is so funny.
Oh, he was in
and they're
prison
all
for 3
jealous
years.
of him. They're like all angry at him because he's a daywalker and he's standing there with like a hat and sunglasses, isn't he? And he's like, "Hey y'all, what's up? Is this thing on?" And he's like,
"It's so good. It's so." All I'm
good.
saying is, give the man, bring him back. I don't care what role he plays. But I just wanted to be like, always bet on black. And I'll be like, yeah, that's my Wesley Snipes. Get him back in there.
Are you saying like
yeah,
he has to have a cameo?
Yes.
Oh,
I want a cameo.
He's in that movie somehow. Like
Yeah, I don't care
he has to be
in
in
what
that
way.
movie. There's
Yeah,
no
just
way
1
he
minute.
gets through that movie, and he's not there. This is what Wesley Snipes. Also,
When they break into a casino.
I'm kind of pissed off because I googled Wolverine X2 because I wanted to look at his goofy haircut. What? Why is this the SEO on Wolverine X2? That's really stupid.
Wow.
Shows you where that
Wow.
character's at right now. Or where that
Yeah.
movie's at, maybe. Could also be that. This is what Wesley Snipes looks like as of last year. That's how he's doing. Looking good.
No? Jesse's like,
No,
I think he's looking
he
looks
looks fine.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I
more
was like, I
jealous
think
of the
he
fact that like one of my life goals is to be able to pull off like a very colorful suit. You know what I mean? Like I want to pull off like
what do you mean?
I want to pull off. Yeah, but like I want to pull off like a tux, but it's like neon pink. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to really
Do it.
I don't think I can. I don't think I got it. I don't think I'm cool enough.
Do it.
I don't know. I'm not saying okay.
Whoa.
They have to do
Whoa.
a different Blade.
Oh.
That's all. Because I feel like the interpretation here has been I don't think Mahershala Ali is a good actor. I do. They just have to go a completely direction with it because
They
like
can't do the same Blade. That Blade was
love
Have you watched those
David Arbor.
movies?
No, they're that's what I'm saying. It's like they're kind of campy and funny. But like David Arbor is a great I would disagree.
Well,
I love
they're
the first one.
fun to watch, but they're also awful.
Yeah. But I would say David Arbor is an amazing actor, but he's not fucking Hellboy. Hellboy is Ron Perlman. And that film was doomed to fail the second Ron Perlman wasn't on it.
I didn't even see
David
that
Arbor
with
is a
David
great
Arbor.
actor. But Ron Perlman, like, and that's what I'm saying is like, it's sometimes like, and maybe Wesley Snipes doesn't have that iconicness, but to me, I feel like kind of does, you know?
There's something like very Snipesian about the way he delivers lines as Blade that like, if it's imitated, it legitimately can't be. And so you're 100% right in the fact that if they try to imitate the Snipesian, dialogue, it's going to come off like absolute dog shit. I agree with you 100%. It will be a different Blade without a doubt. It'll probably be like a much more stoic, like every word has meaning Blade rather than, quippy Blade, which is kind of, I think, what Snipes' Blade was. Then like a quip after he kills a dude, like the new Blade will probably just kill a dude and then like sheath the sword and continue walking type deal.
Man.
Which maybe that character is boring.
Right? Yeah, the best part of Blade is the fact that he kills a guy and then says like a great crappy one-liner every time. Every time.
Yeah. Get slapped.
Or that time
That's
when
what
he
says
like
after it. Kills
when
the guy,
he like
chop.
When he like fights all of them and like draws like the half circle with the sword and they all turn into dust. It's so
Yeah. Well, that stuff could still happen.
So like action movie, but I love it. It's so extra.
That stuff could definitely still happen. Yeah. I think that would be
I hope
fine.
they do that.
If Marvel is smart, we will see Jon Snow at a blood rave. If they're smart, it'll be like him there, and he's like, oh, the vampire's like, right, and Blade saves him, and he's like,
it is an interesting.
Nothing. Let's go.
It is an interesting thing to consider, like how much callback do they do to that series?
Too much. I'm hoping the answer is too much. Where the audience is like, this is almost like the first Blade. And I will be like, yeah, fuck yeah, it is. I'm here for that.
Well,
First Blade is genuinely very, very good.
Everyone also thinks that it's
campy and awful and love it. I love it.
Who's the villain? Right? Like it's got to be a vampire. It's got to be some sort of Dracula or something.
Morbius, obviously.
They just killed Jared Leto. They just like cut his head off.
I would like to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. They do.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's what happens.
Maybe so.
I would like to see it.
Yeah, maybe so. All right. Are we good? Do we want
Yes.
to watch another film, movie next week? What do we?
Aren't we doing 3-4 of Iron Fist? This is just a palate cleanser before.
Yeah, this is a palate cleanser. 3-4 of
It's a
Iron
palate
Fist. Let's
cleanser.
go.
Oh,
Let's
is that
go.
what we're doing?
That's
Yeah,
it. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna sit through
3-4
Ward being
of Iron
awful.
Fist. You already have to plan the next palate cleanser, Jesse. You're our official palate cleanser planner now. So following week,
Okay.
you're gonna have to come up with something. This week, X2 was good. It was a good palate cleanser.
Can I introduce the idea of reading comics on the show?
I would love that.
Can we read?
Instead of
No.
Iron Fist,
Iron Fist 3 and 4, but 2 weeks
I got
from now.
homework now. Oh my god.
2 weeks from now, we'll give you 2 weeks to read Moon Knight 1 through 14.
Which
$20.
just
$20.
make sure you set up the run. You
Yeah.
give a specific run of what.
Oh yeah, I'll just link you to the Comixology page that I bought. We'll just do that.
Okay.
Does that work? You guys want to do that?
Works
That's
for
2
me.
weeks from now. So you got 2 weeks to read 14 issues.
Mhm.
Let me post it in the group chat.
That's a comic a day, Jesse. That's only like 5 minutes of reading a day.
It's 5 minutes a day.
Reading.
I mean, you're telling fucking me reading?
Look at this guy pretending he hates reading when he's a fucking giant ass history dude.
Yeah. By the way, Jesse Cox.
Yeah, you can,
This
you can kind of see him.
motherfucker.
There's a shit ton of books, like
Yeah.
right. You
This
can kinda see him.
motherfucker
Reading.
is such a liar. Jesse's always like, I'm a gamer, I'm a nerd, I'm not a. It's like, you're an academic. Shut the fuck up.
I'm literally in a room that shades. It's all shades of brown. That's how much of an academic I am. Where I'm just like, if you look,
True.
you
No,
notice like
you're
the
so
walls are
bad at-
brown.
You're
Brown,
not good at
brown,
hiding it.
brown.
You can make like any kind of comment where it's like, well, Cleopatra, and Jesse will just very casually be like, Cleopatra wasn't even Egyptian. If we look at the historical timeline, in fact, we can look.
Was he turned into
Exactly
fucking
what
Data or some
Cleopatra-
shit?
He does. He does. And then he goes back to being like, I don't know anything about anything. I'm Jesse Cox. And I'm like, shut up. We know you're smart, you dickhead.
It's true. It's true. You're getting them. This is Jesse Cox.
This is all part of my plan.
Jesse Cox Unboxed. That's what we call this sequence. Oof.
All right, so we're doing. It's the Lemure.
Yeah. We'll
1
do
through 14?
the Lemure run in
Gotcha.
2 weeks. So next
It's the
week,
one that has the. It's the one that I think the trade paperback has him in a
I
straight
literally
jacket,
linked
and
it to
all
you
white,
on Twitter.
and he has a moon symbol on his head. I think
That's it.
what that
That's
is.
issue 1. Yeah. The one that I sent you has all the issues. Just click that link, you buy it, and watch it.
Lovely.
There you go. Unless you want the physical version, then you're on your own, and that's a.
You can get it on Amazon. I think I don't know how much it is. It's probably like 50.
It's probably expensive. I know
$70.
the actual collected version is out in March. Anyways, we got to get on here. I just saw your message about being out in 10. So let's wrap it so you can already be late to your meeting. Bronze, do some shout outs.
I'll be fast. Hi, hello. I'm That Bronze Girl. You can catch me on twitch.tv/ThatBronzeGirl 6 days a week. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Sometimes I post my spicy takes there, and sometimes I'm too lazy to.
Nice. Jesse Cox, talk to me about Cyclops.
Yo, Cyclops is a tool. Speaking of tools, you can find me with 5-minute gaming news. There's a new episode today. There'll be a new episode tomorrow, and I'm gonna post, I think, somewhere online today or tomorrow the Dying Light 2 stuff that I got to play. It was great, super fun.
Nice.
I found a stash of rice and vodka and then hit on a random redhead in the world. She was not interested in my rice and vodka, but it's the apocalypse. I was living like a king. Anyway, that's it for me.
Good stuff. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week, episode 3 and 4 of Iron Fist. Oh, God. And then in 2 weeks, we'll discuss the Moon Knight Lemire run. 14 issues. You can find on Comixology or on Amazon or on... Apparently, it is on the Marvel Unlimited thing. It's a weird search. So maybe we'll tweet out links to those if you guys want to follow along. So we're out here. Thanks for watching the MCU Crew. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed X2 for those that watched it for the first time. And we'll see you next week for more Iron Fist. Bye-bye.
Bye.